Boa tarde a todos e todas, sejam bem-vindos e bem-vindas a mais um webinar da Rede EducationUSA. Meu nome é Davi Medeiros, eu sou EducationUSA Advisor aqui na Universidade Presbiteriana Mackenzie, em São Paulo. É um super prazer falar com vocês, né? Nós estamos gravando essa sessão, ela vai ficar disponível no nosso canal no YouTube, o EducationUSA Brasil. Bem, a rede EducationUSA é uma rede ligada ao Departamento de Estado dos Estados Unidos, tem mais de 400 escritórios no mundo inteiro e aqui no Brasil são 41. Então, como disse, fico aqui na Universidade Presbiteriana Mackenzie e em São Paulo vocês também podem encontrar o meu colega Murilo Artesi, que fica na FAAP. Para nós é sempre uma honra e uma alegria ter a oportunidade de receber representantes das universidades americanas para falarem diretamente com vocês. E hoje nós temos, então, a chance de ouvir diretamente de duas representantes do Hood College Graduate School, que vão falar, então, com vocês a respeito da aplicação para pós-graduação. Então, nós estamos com a Tanith Fowler Corsi, e também a Vanessa Solis. The floor is yours. Thank you very much for being here and wishing you a wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much, David. Bem-vindo ao Hood College. É prazer para mim estar aqui hoje. Welcome. I'm so sorry for my accent. My name is Vanessa Solis. I'm originally from Ecuador, and it is such a pleasure to be here with you guys today. Today, we're going to talk about tips for applying to a graduate school in the United States. Please feel free to leave us your questions or any doubts in the chat. So today, we will be exposing. I have the pleasure to have my supervisor here, Ms. Daniel Fowler-Corsi, and myself. As you can see right here, the both of us are DSO. It means that we support international students. We're going to help you meet all the guidelines to arrive to the United States, get a visa, and also maintain your visa status here in the US. So you are the right people if you have any questions in regards to your visa. Now, tips for applying to a graduate school in the United States. I'm going to talk in depth about all these tips later, but I just want to give you a draft of what we're going to be doing today, an outline. So the first thing is researching your university and the college where you want to attend. After you know what university you want to attend, it is important to start building up your portfolio. You are going to need required documents like the course-by-course evaluation, the professional letters of recommendation. You're probably going to need to present some tests, as well as write a statement of purpose, which is an essay. After you send out all that portfolio, you completed your application, you need to put together an application timeline. So you know when you have to present and submit all those required documents because you don't want to be late. After you have done everything and while you're doing everything, actually it's very important to start considering your finances. Now, let's start with researching and visiting your college. This may be the very first time that you're going out of Brazil. So you may want to find a place that is inclusive and also welcomes international students. If you're very attracted for a big city, you want to go to New York City, being able to find public transportation everywhere, probably a big city is the right place for you. But if you feel probably a smaller place, might be the right fit for you, probably a smaller university might be just perfect for what you're looking for. We also have options for that. So that's great that in the United States, we have different options, different cities and different places. So something positive that the pandemic brought is that some universities are giving you the option to take online tours. I'm just going to give an example of what we do here at Hood College. This is our campus here. We're located in the beautiful downtown Frederick, right outside of the DC area.
Welcome to the newly renovated Tatum Art Center, which is home to the Hudson Art Gallery, the Departments of Art and Archaeology, Global Languages and Cultures, Psychology, Education, in law and criminal justice. New additions to the building include a moot courtroom and state-of-the-art classrooms. Located on the bottom floor, the Avalon Theater, which is also known as the Black Box, was recently revamped and hosts a lot of Hood College's theater productions.
Here we are at the Hudson Science and Technology Center, which houses the departments of biology, as well as the departments of chemistry, mathematics, nursing, and computer science and information technology. Recent renovations here have added additional state-of-the-art equipment and expanded space for the nursing and coastal and watershed study programs. We're here in front of Rosenstock Hall, which houses the departments of economics, English, political science, history, business administration, and communication arts. In addition to numerous classrooms, Rosenstock Hall houses the Hudson Auditorium and the Center for Academic Achievement and Retention. The newest addition to this building is the Virginia Munson Hamill Trading Room, complete with state-of-the-art technology to simulate real work with financial markets. The Beneficial Hudson Library features study spaces for individuals and small and large groups. The library supports the research, teaching, and learning needs of
That is just an example of what you may be looking for while you're searching for universities. So please take a look at the online campus tours. Now, let's start building up your portfolio. It's very important to consider about your course by course evaluation. This is very simple. It's basically your transcripts that say that you have completed your undergraduate education. They need to be translated by a NACE organization. It doesn't work like, for example, oh yes, my neighbor speaks English and he can do my transcripts. He can like convert my transcripts from Portuguese to English. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Universities in the US, we require students that they submit their documents by a NACE organization. And here I put like three very brief examples of different institutions that convert the final GPA, your final GPA from your transcript. They also translate your transcript and they are going to certify that your document is official. Now remember, an official document needs to come directly from your institution. So this is the process. Your institution in Brazil will send out the document to NACES. NACES will do all the process, and after they finish your evaluation, the university will receive those documents. So that's something very important to consider. And again, you can just Google NACES, and you can find all of the different members that can do your evaluations. Letters of recommendation. That is something very important for your application, especially because you have to ask for the letters of recommendation for someone who knows you. Some universities may have different requirements. They can be asking you for a letter of recommendation from your professor, probably from your employer, who may be like your boss at your job. They can be like different requirements, but it's very important that the recommender is someone who knows you, because that person is going to talk about like all the things that you have achieved, probably like all your goals, all the amazing background that you have, and like all the amazing things that you did while you were pursuing your education or your job. So please ask the letter of recommendation to be from someone that you know and that person knows you as well. Now, make sure you meet the minimum requirements for all the standardized tests. Usually for graduate education, we require the GRE and the GMAT. However, Hood College does not require these tests for graduate students, but we require the English tests evaluations. And it is super nice that now we just added Duolingo, which gives you another option to take the test. A lot of people are opting for Duolingo just because it may be a little bit more flexible and affordable. However, you have other options like TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo. In our case, again, this is only for Hood College. If you don't meet the minimum requirements, we do offer a class that will bring you to speed in English. This class, Advanced English class, will give you the opportunity to just expand your education in English and be exposed to the different assignments, different interaction. You can have different homeworks and the opportunity to talk to your teachers in this class. So in the case that you don't meet the minimum requirement, you have the option to take that class. But remember, this is only in Hood College. Some universities may not have that option. So it's very important that you talk to your to the person, to the admission officer of the university that you're applying, and ask what's going to happen if my test does not meet the minimum requirement. Provide your statement of purpose. So you have to read the instructions very careful, because some universities may be asking you for your background. Some of them might be asking you for something totally different, like what do you want to achieve with this degree, or what do you want to do after you graduate? You may have different guidelines, or why are you choosing this university? All the universities are different, so please read the guidelines. And something very important, and I'm going to say it again, very important, do not copy your document. Do not just Google your document and be like, oh, this sounds super nice, I'm going to include it here. All the universities, we have a platform that will detect if your document has been plagiarized or copied. So for example, let's say, oh, my cousin just applied to school in the US. I'm going to borrow her document and just copy whatever she has there. Unfortunately, we will detect that. And your application can be withdrawn or fully terminated because you were copying your document. So please be careful and just talk from your inner voice. And once you have completed your document, feel free to ask somebody to just like read your document, find if there's like any like words that can be rephrased, or like probably like vocabulary or something else, because just as you and I was an international student as well. My first language wasn't English. I needed someone else to read my document and give me some feedback. Put together an application timeline. Once you have submitted probably everything, or like even like before, you need to know when you have to present everything. You don't want to miss any dates, especially because some universities might be giving you the opportunity to have a scholarship based on when you send your information. You might be so late if you don't send them on time, and probably you won't be considered for a graduate student position or for like any scholarship, or sometimes they have just a list of people that they need to have in the programs. For example, for the business administration, I just want to have like 20 people. If you send out your documents later, unfortunately, that list of people already is filled, so you won't be able to apply to the school because maybe it may be so late. So create a calendar, just put it on your phone, and make sure you don't miss any date. The last and one of the most important ones as well is consider your finance. Some universities might be offering scholarships. Some universities might be offering graduate assistantship positions. Now, this is something to think about, because if the university, for some reason, some graduate programs do not offer scholarships for international students, they might be offering something else. In our case, we do offer job positions for our international students. And we have different departments, we have different offices that may need a student who works for a couple of months, probably for a couple of years, probably for the entire education, doing different kind of jobs. So that's something to like definitely find out and talk to the university. The other option that you also have is to look for like different organizations that might be sponsoring your university, your education. Probably another like organization in Brazil might be like offering some scholarships for Brazilian students. So I think you are in the right place by talking to the members of EducationUSA, who might help you finding these organizations that can just sponsor your education, or an individual who can guide you with this. Thank you so much. Right now, it is my pleasure to present you to Mrs. Dani Fowler-Corsi, but before I do that, I just want to give you a very brief introduction of Hood College. This is who we are.
Quality writing makes your schoolwork better and helps you stand out in the process.
When we say Hood is home, it's for so many reasons. Hood is home to a welcoming, supportive campus right in one of Maryland's most vibrant cities.
Hood's home of Frederick is less than an hour from Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Gettysburg.
Hood is home to classes small enough so your voice is heard, with the personal attention to get you thinking big.
While Hood is your home, you'll have the opportunity to live in our spacious and secure residence hall.
Hood is home to all of this and so much more.
Welcome to Hood College. It is my pleasure for me to present you to Mrs. Dani Fowler-Corsi.
Thank you, Vanessa, and hola and benvido, everyone. It's so nice to be here with you. And I am going to talk to you a little bit about specifically our wonderful Hood College, which we love and which we would love to welcome you to. So as you can see on the picture, we have a beautiful campus. It's very historical, and it's only 1 hour outside of Washington, D.C. So you get the big city, all the museums, all the politics just at your fingertips. But you can also live in beautiful Frederick, Maryland, where Hood College is located, which is quieter, smaller, and much more like a community. So here's another beautiful image of our downtown Frederick, Maryland, which is very diverse and very inclusive. And you will feel at home. You will feel like you're in a place where everybody will get to know you, both on campus and also downtown in our downtown Frederick. We are a very safe community. So if you've heard all these terrible stories about how dangerous it is in Washington, D.C. and the United States in general, Frederick, Maryland is very nice and very safe. You can stroll along, as you can see, our beautiful canal. You can see all the beautiful buildings that you have in the background, and our campus is walking distance from many wonderful restaurants and places to visit downtown. We are very welcoming. So we have a lot of people from around the world at Little Frederick. We have people from Latin America, we have people from Europe, we have people from different parts of the United States. So it's a very welcoming and inclusive place to be. So I'll talk a little bit about both our undergraduate programs, but mostly, of course, our graduate programs. So if you are thinking that you want to come to the United States for your bachelor's degree, which is 4 years, you have a lot of options at Hood College. We have programs in the sciences. You can see we have biology and chemistry and environmental science. We have computer science and information technology. But we also have arts. We have art and archaeology. We have music. We have a new program in art therapy, which is starting this year. And of course, business and economics and nursing as well. So now a little bit about our graduate programs. And as you probably know, a graduate degree is typically 2 years. Now there's times you can do it a little bit faster, or you can take your time and go a little bit longer, but usually it's going to be 2 years. And we also have doctoral programs, which are now open to international students. And the doctoral program is typically 4 years, 3 years to 4 years. So see, you have a list here of the types of programs you could do at the graduate level at Hood College. We have wonderful programs in science, biomedical science. We have cybersecurity, which is very popular nowadays. We have IT, computer science, bioinformatics, which is also very big in our region. And we also have business, ceramic arts, if you're interested in the arts. We have programs that focus on humanities, and we also have programs that are counseling, more psychology. Here is a little shot of our beautiful labs. So if you are interested in sciences, we have top labs that are really, really top-notch with very good equipment. And our faculty are leaders in the community and also are working in science. And so they are bringing students fresh information about what is really happening right now in the field of science. So you have great facilities and amazing instructors too. Now, as you probably know, a great thing to do when you're studying in the United States is to be able to get some work experience. And so that is something that Hood College does very well. What we do in all of our programs is that we make sure there's the opportunity for our international students to do internships, which are called curricular practical training, and also OPT, which is after you finish your degree program, you can remain in the United States and get some work experience in your field of interest. And we have here, you'll see on the screen, this last year, we had 100% application approval rates for our international students doing OPT and CPT. And look at the average salary. It started at over 70,000 US dollars. So that is a very big area that's very attractive to many students coming to the United States, but also very much so for Hood College. Vanessa mentioned earlier, of course, money is probably the most important thing in your mind as you're planning your finances and your studies overseas. So at Hood College, if you are looking to start a bachelor's program, a 4-year bachelor's program, there are some scholarships specifically dedicated to international students. And they can either cover 25% of the tuition cost. Some will go up to half of your tuition cost, which is very good because Hood College is a private college. And so the tuition will be the same if you're living in Frederick, an American, or if you're coming from overseas. It's the same tuition price. If you're coming for a graduate degree, we do have some limited teaching and graduate assistantships. And what those are is you could come to Hood College perhaps and teach Portuguese in our language department. We have students teaching Spanish and French and German and other languages, Arabic. And those are great opportunities to have some of your courses paid for by Hood College, and you have the opportunity to teach our students and assist our language professors. We also have graduate assistantships where you would work on campus in a different office. There's about 10 offices currently that offer graduate assistantships. And you also would be working and getting some of your tuition paid for. Not the whole tuition, but a class or sometimes 2 every semester. This, for those of you interested in business, is our top-notch trading room where you would have class with the professor and feel like you are in New York at the trading center, looking at the stocks and looking at everything that's happening with the market. So it is really hands-on if you're interested in the area of business. So for applying for undergraduate, there's no application fee. So that's something that's really nice for you to know for the undergraduate programs. You would be living on campus, so you would get to know American students and students from other countries and around the world. And of course, there's a big variety of courses because there's 32 degrees that you can choose from. At the graduate level, where Vanessa and I work, we have almost 20 master's programs. We have 2 doctoral programs. And if you take a master's in business, you can add on a certificate. So if you're interested in project management or accounting or financial planning, those are all areas that you could specialize in. All the classes are in the evening, so you could be working during the day on campus or in an internship and then take your graduate course in the evening. And we have a lot of international students, so you would be in good company. About 10 to 12% of our graduate students are from around the world. And the other wonderful thing is that our prices for tuition are very competitive, very affordable. So when you shop around and you look at costs, definitely compare different universities and colleges because you'll see there's a big difference in costs. So that's another very good thing about Hood College. So that is the official end of our presentation. Vanessa and I would love to hear from you, answer any questions you have. And remember, no question is silly, so please don't hesitate now. This is your chance to ask any questions that you might have. Thank you very much.
And just thanking you, Tenet and Vanessa, for this amazing presentation with so much details, with beautiful images and videos from the campus cities. So beautiful. And I didn't see that it was that close to DC, just 1 hour. It's like a step.
It's wonderful. You land in Washington, D.C., and 1 hour later, you're in the beautiful countryside with a lot of historic villages. So it's a beautiful part of the United States.
Yes, yes. Well, guys, please take advantage of having 2 representatives from Hood College Graduate School here, and please ask your questions.
Yes, and if you're worried about your English, please feel free if you want to ask your question in Portuguese, and then the EducationUSA office will be happy. So please don't hesitate because you're worried about your English also.
I can interpret if it is the case. Yes. Or drop it in the chat. Yes.
I know Vanessa and I would love to hear, for those of you who are on the line, a little bit about you, what your hopes and dreams are, and what brought you to this presentation, and what you're looking to do. So, Camila or Jacqueline, I see, who else do I see? Leticia, please feel free to share a little bit.
Yes.
Hi, Trinity. This is Aguinaldo and Vanessa, and I'm currently working on my application for a PhD in communications. Just worried about this requirement that Vanessa displayed in the beginning of her presentation about the many certified translation, or because I order my translation from a certified professional, but not from the institution. So I would like to know if it's really necessary to get my academic information translated through one of these institutions.
Sure. Let me just say one thing, and then I'll let Vanessa continue. It'll very much so depend on the institution you apply to, because the rules vary by institution. So usually, if you apply to a big school in the United States that have a big office, they might not require you to submit the course by course evaluation because they can evaluate it at the college, at the university. If you apply to a smaller institution, usually there will be some outside organizations required to review your transcript, like in the case of Hood College. So where you applied for your doctoral program, they might have a different rule. So that's the first thing to check with your admission officer, is just to double check, what do you need to submit to show your transcript and also the equivalent GPA. Vanessa, anything else you'd like to add?
You can just reiterate that it is very important to check with the admission officer or the school that you're applying right now, because as Tanit mentioned, small universities like us maybe require only the NACES organization to do the translation. However, other universities may require another, they may have like another like parameters, like for example, oh yeah, we do our own evaluation here, so just they have your institution send us your documents. So please check with the admission officer. And also, I mean, I think like they will guide you and they will let you know like with which membership or what institution they can also help you doing your evaluation in case they don't accept the one. But definitely contact them and see whether they're going to accept the one document that you have right now.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
And if I can add, we always advise you in our EducationUSA offices to always consider getting the translations, the certified translations ahead of time. And when you have a credential evaluation service, and then you need to get these translations even before, because they have their own standards and requirements in terms of time, right?
That's a good point. Any other questions? I see Letitia didn't have any questions, but Camila or Jacqueline, any questions?
Can I ask?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, Camila.
Yeah. Hi. Thanks for the presentation. I'm also gonna apply for a PhD, but in sociology, and I'm worried about the SOPs. Searching on internet, I've seen some people saying that there's a style of SOP that is more like literature, like a romance SOP, and others are more like square. They are directly to the point. And I know that in United States, you training for doing SOPs during your studying lives. I've heard you do it since you're kids. I don't know, but here is something very different for us. So I don't know which one should I go for. Should I be more literary or should I be more square?
So quick question, because SOP means different things in the United States. What specifically are you referring to your writing style?
Yeah, this statement that
statement of purpose. Right?
Yeah, statements of
Got it. Yes. So my recommendation, and this is what we require both for our doctoral SOPs and masters, is that we really want you to be yourself and to talk about your very personal experience and not try to be too general. They really want to know who you are, why you want to study this program, and what you hope to do with the program. So for our doctoral program, for instance, we require 2 essays. One is a statement of purpose. The other one is more about what are your dreams and aspirations. And so I know that the committee really reviews those essays very carefully. They are really looking to see what makes you unique, what makes you you, what are you interested in, what can you bring to the program, what do you hope to do after the program. So just be yourself. Like Vanessa said earlier on, use your inner voice and describe you and your life. I think that will go a long way with the review committees. And usually there's an interview. So maybe for your doctoral application, you'll have an interview and they'll ask you questions based on your essays. Vanessa, anything else to add?
Secondly, I'm so sorry, Camila, just remember, don't copy your essay. I know that sometimes we just like feel the necessity, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna put this quote right here that is gonna sound so beautiful. And I'm even going to just like put an author or the name of the person who wrote that quote. Try to avoid that. Even sometimes we just want to like make it more beautiful, more appealing our document. And like even avoiding quotes is the best thing, because you don't want to have a document that is going to be like a 30% copy or like a 20% copy. That's something that we can accept, but of course you don't want to have 100% copy document. So always try to like talk about your own experiences, your goals, and what you want to achieve. Thank you so much. Now I see that Jacqueline has a question here. She's asking us about PhDs. Do PhDs have more scholarships than master's degrees?
So good question. At Hood College, unfortunately not, but that's not the case everywhere. But at Hood College, for instance, it's easier to find a graduate assistantship at Hood College if you're looking for a master's program, because the tuition is less than a tuition for the doctoral program. So unfortunately for the doctoral program, it's a little bit more difficult to find funding. However, I know there's different institutions with different scholarships. And so do your research carefully and see, are there specific scholarships for doctoral programs? What are the requirements? Because that again is going to be different everywhere. So there's no rule. It just depends on your specific university or college that you're researching for the scholarships.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline, and I left some information there in the chat about the ways that you can fund your education here at your college. Another advantage, well, before I talk about the advantages, think that sometimes, especially in our countries, we think that a college is just like a very small university. Here in the US is different. Hood College, for example, has undergraduate programs. We also have master's degrees as well as PhDs, doctoral degrees. So we are a small school, but we do offer a variety of programs here. Now, an advantage, and Tanit mentioned about this before, an advantage of Hood College is that our prices are pretty affordable, especially because in this area, universities are very, very expensive. And you have to think that you're international students, so you need to find housing. You also need to find a way to of transportation. You also, of course, like, need to find like ways that you're gonna be like, like groceries, just like buying groceries, just like doing your food, just like cooking for you. Things like that, like that are very basic for you. An international student needs to spend not only in the tuition, but living as well, living expenses. So consider a university that is not very expensive if they're not going to offer you a scholarship.
That's very good advice, Vanessa. Absolutely. Because in the case of a university that's more affordable, it doesn't mean the education is not as good. Believe me, we have very top-notch faculty, but our tuition is more affordable than some other places. So double check, all the differences, make a checklist, like Vanessa said, of all your priorities, what's important to you, big school, small school, scholarship funding, and that's going to help you make your research and find the right place for you.
And that's perfect. And we usually advise the students, we usually advise the students to have from 5 to 8 universities, for example, in their lists for graduate programs, right? Because we have more than 1,700 graduate institutions in the US, and so there are a lot of them. The most important thing is to get to know if the school is accredited, because high quality, all of them are. You just need to check if they are accredited schools. That's the most important things, right?
Very, very important, yes, because unfortunately, there are some universities that attract international students that are not accredited, and that causes problems. And then they have to transfer out and they lose credits and money. So absolutely, number one, go to the website. It will always say the accreditation, absolutely.
And just to add that I left a while ago a resource that was created by EducationUSA in partnership with the regional English language office, WILO, with our US Embassy in Brazil, that we provide like a 9-module program with to the candidates to improve their academic skills, English academic skills. And we advise them in one of the modules, for example, regarding the personal statements, the CVs. And so there's a lot of resource that the EducationUSA network provides to you for you to build very good statement of purposes, and all the documents, the CVs that you need to provide. We always say that you need to think that you're gonna spend two years in an institution, and they need to get to know you, and it's from these documents they're gonna have a perspective of what the candidate is and what are their goals, his or her goals, right? And we have Viviani or Viniani, I'm not sure, that just entered, and we just had the presentation. But if you want to get the advantage, to take the advantage of talking to Tanit or Vanessa from Hood College and ask them any questions about the institution, and I'm here also to provide you some information about how to apply for graduate schools, and then if they want to as well.
Hello, Vivian. Thank you so much for attending our session today. I'm so sorry that you missed the first part, but hopefully, David is recording the session, so I know that he will be able to facilitate the recording for you. We're talking about like how to apply to graduate schools in the United States, how to found your education, and also all the required documents that you have to submit. If you have any questions for us or Aguinaldo, Camila, Leticia, please let us know.
I'm also in the chat. I'm going to put our contact information again. Maybe I know we had it on the first screen, but I'm going to go ahead and just add it here so that if you have any questions after the fact, I'm going to first put Vanessa's email, and this is Vanessa Solis. And Vanessa, like she mentioned earlier, was also an international student who came to the United States. So she completely understands everything that's involved, and she can share her insight as well. And my name is Tanith, and I'm putting my email as well. And I am the Director of Graduate Admission at Hood College. And I also came to the United States for the first time for college. I was born and raised in France. So we both understand what it's like to be an international student, to come to the United States to study at the university level. So please don't hesitate. If you think of any questions after the fact, you can email the two of us, and we would be more than happy to guide you and answer any questions we can.
That's great. And Camila has another question about visa. Would you like to open your mic?
Yeah. I'm thinking ahead. Let's say I get approved to a PhD, and I'm wondering if my partner, he would be able to get a dependent visa without being actually married with me. We live together we have been living together for 6 years now, but we are not married. Should I marry him? Should I ask the question?
I'm going to let Vanessa answer that one, because maybe from personal experience, she'll have some good advice.
I'm sorry, Camila, I'm just going to give you a joke, but like definitely asking for the ring. I'm just kidding. No, so unfortunately, you can't bring your boyfriend to the United States unless you guys have been married. So the first thing that the government is going to ask your boyfriend to submit is the marriage certificate, so they can issue the F2 visa. So you as a student will have the F1 visa, and your husband will have the F2 visa. If you are not married with him, you won't be able to send them the marriage certificate, and unfortunately, he won't be able to get the visa. So that's my answer.
Yeah, he could come as a visitor, but unfortunately, it would not be a long-term visitor visa. So
yes,
yeah.
And well, he can also apply to a master or a PhD program as well, right?
Good point. Yes, in fact, yes, that's a good idea. They could both apply together, and that would be one solution for sure.
Yeah. And in his case, it would be a postgraduate course, something like that. I don't know.
You mean like he's already a PhD and he's looking for
finishing
a postdoctorate?
Yes, exactly.
And regarding this that Camila just asked, for professors who are in Brazil and wants to try to engage in a department of Hood College to seeking for postdoctorate research, how could they make this in terms of Hood College? Is there any possibility?
Absolutely. In fact, Vanessa and I just recently met one of our new faculty at Hood, Dr. Sierra Sosa, where is he from? He's from Colombia, I think, right? Yeah, he's from Colombia. And he is a wonderful resource at Hood College. He would be more than happy to speak to any students interested in doctoral or postdoctoral research. And so we could definitely put you in contact with him or with some of our other faculty, because our faculty is very international, especially in the sciences. and business.
That's nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have a question? Well, again, it has been a pleasure for us to meet with all of you. Remember that we are here to support you, and we will love to help you. Just start your education in the US. As an international student, Stanley and I know how difficult it is, especially because you don't have to only think about your education, it's about your living experience as well. So please don't hesitate to contact us. David, thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Yes.
It has been such a pleasure to meet you today, of course, and like to give this presentation. We would love to see you again soon. So please contact us if you have any questions.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone who came to the presentation. And thank you so much, David, for the opportunity to connect with prospective students from Brazil. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much, Tanith. Thank you very much, Vanessa, and all of you that were here with us. Just turning into Portuguese for a little bit. Muito obrigado a vocês todos e todas que puderam estar conosco hoje ou que estão assistindo a gravação nesse momento, né? É sempre uma oportunidade muito interessante de poder falar diretamente com as representantes. Caso vocês tenham dúvidas a respeito do contato delas, por favor, só mandem um e-mail para nós e a gente vai fazer essa informação, tá? Bem, então não deixem de participar dos eventos da rede EducationUSA. A gente sempre tem plantões de dúvidas, tem os webinars com as universidades americanas, como essa de hoje com o Hood College Graduate School. E é isso. Nós nos vemos numa próxima oportunidade. Agradecendo então a todos vocês. Thank you very much again.